if you carry along the mentalities of what you had 15, 20 years ago in live sound, you might not be relevant now. Almost everybody is using in-ear. Why? Because of the technologies that introduces stems, loop, backing track, and talkback. Let's assume this is just talkback, and there's some communication that is just valid among the musician. Audience must not hear this. The lead vocal must not hear it at all. Why? Because we believe this period we are the moment of spontaneity where things happen on stage. The days where someone is analog in nature has passed. The days where someone is mechanical in nature has passed. Sometimes you might have rehearsed, and you must have done some scripting behind the scene, and you say, okay, fine. When we get to stage, this is what we should play. This is what is required of us to play. But instantly, the Holy Spirit take charge, and then you find yourself doing stuff that you've not rehearsed. So at that time, when the lead vocal is in another realm, the instrumentalist has to also be together, right? So that is why we have several talk-back mic among fellow musicians. And so somehow I might be confused with chord progression, and sometimes doing this is distracting. So there's a way you can communicate this, like among the musicians that they understand. And when you want some break in between the drums and keys, or keys, aux keys, and all that, you communicate. So long story short, all this thing put together is what give birth to in-ear technology. Now, some churches cannot really afford P16. Why? Because of its expensive nature, one. And number two, the operation when you start is a bit complex. So that's why I'm here also to share P2. I'm not selling P2 actually. It is the technology, is the ease with which the flows of command and signal goes through the system, right? It's why I am doing this. I'm not selling P2. A lot of people actually configure this as mono. Yes, we know that it has just this port. If you can look very well, this is actually a 2-channel connection. 2 outputs are actually connected to this, which give us a full stereo imaging, right? So anything I'm doing here is also okay, translating. So now this is left and right. This is left and right. So the left and right gives, again, by default, gives all this ambience. It gives this ambience. So ambience, atmosphere, effects, and a whole lot of stuff happens in stereo imaging. So can I have you, please? Okay, again, I'm feeling the keys round about me. Yes, round about me. And so that explains the beauty of in-ear monitors. Now, yeah, you can keep playing. So as you can see, this is stereo. And so most people really deploy this solution, but it's actually one way. An engineer cannot accurately give you a perfect mix. So what I will employ you guys, musician, music team, instrumentalists, to do is to master the science. This thing actually has a software. Yeah. So when you look at it from the logical point of view, there's a software that drives this. So, and that's why I have this. I'm currently using bus 1. Yes, bus 1. And so if I bring down my level off, I can increase, and I can choose to pan left and right because I'm on stereo imaging. Actually, this very app is for front of house mix engineer. So I think a stage mix for instrumentalists, you can actually have something Q fashion, but because of time, I might not be able to connect right now. So let's go back. So you see, you can actually have this stuff. For you to have this, now let's assume for a band of 4, right? We are 4 actually. Each person is entitled to 2 different output. He's entitled to 2 output. I have 2 output from my mixing console. He has 2 output, and she has 2 output. All put together, we are using 8 auxiliaries, 8 output actually, but paired in stereo. So for you to have this, to use this facility, that means you have to sacrifice some form of output slot on your I/O, right? So that's it. There's so much. This, like I say, it is driven by software. It's software driven. It's not that Behringer has a software for P2, but any digital mixer you are using has a version for instrumentalists, which you can cooperate with your tech team to fix that solution for you. Like I always tell my friends, you can actually create enabling systems around you. You can create systems that work very well, effortlessly. You can do so much. And so when you have to face challenges with connectivities, you can actually have a very super high-speed router very close to the music team on stage. So rather than having a Wi-Fi locked like 100 meters away from where you are, you can actually have this kind of issues where a lot of disconnections happen. So I will employ again tech team to have a dedicated router switch not too far away from the musician, so that they have easy access to this. And another issue we face here is when the firmware of your console is old and you have to download an app that is recent. Again, you have firmware mismatch. This mix you are hearing now is an in-ear mix for me, for this case, right?
As long as I am breathing, I will always worship you, and I will not be silent. I will always worship you. As long as I am breathing, I will always worship you, and I will not be silent. I will always as long as I am breathing, and I will always worship you. Here is my worship, and all of my worship. Receive my worship, all of my worship. Here is my worship, and all of my worship. Receive my worship, and all of my worship. Here is my worship, and all of my worship. Receive my worship, and all of my as long as I am breathing, I will always worship you. As long as I am breathing, and I will always worship you.
Thank you. We are not musicians, we are just group of sound engineers here. So we've not really scored this. God bless you.